Hello. So in this video, I'm going to give you another teaching strategy, another lesson plan. Specifically, this is a lesson plan for teaching evaluation. So I've done a video before on evaluation, but in this video, we're going to talk through a way of getting your students familiar and getting them to practice doing evaluations. So what I do when I'm teaching evaluation is I'll start with an opening free writing prompt where I ask them, I've chosen 4 different musical genres. I've chosen punk, rap, country, and alternative, but you can choose different genres if you want based on what you're interested in or what you think your students are interested in. So which of those 4 genres are you, this is the writing prompt, which of those 4 genres are you most, do you most enjoy and why? And then basically I will poll the class and we'll figure out which musical genre they like the most. And what we start with is, what are the criteria for a good music video in this genre? So if we're watching a rap video, if most of the students prefer rap, what are the criteria for a good rap video? So what do we expect to see from, or what do we expect to hear from the lyrics? What do we expect to hear in the music? What do we expect to see in the visuals? How do we expect everything to sort of fit together, et cetera, et cetera? And I let them come up with their own standards, and I'll put them up on the board, whiteboard, chalkboard, whatever it is. What do we expect from a good music video in this genre? Then I will show them a music video in that genre. So these are my arbitrary choices. You choose whatever you want, whatever song you like, that's what you choose. So for punk, I use The Offspring's Self-Esteem. For rap, I use Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. For country, I use Blue Rodeo's Hasn't Hit Me Yet. And for alternative, I use Eve 6. I can't think of the title of the song off the top of my head. But I use an Eve 6 song. So yeah, totally arbitrary. You choose whatever you want, whatever music you enjoy and are willing to rewatch the videos of for as many classes as you actually teach. So we will watch that music video, and before I show the video, I will tell them what I am expecting of them, that they will assess this music video according to the standards that we've put up on the board. So we watch the music video, and then I give them a few minutes to talk to partners, people around them, and to assess the video and write a provisional thesis statement about it. So that's one of the key things that I have the students do, is basically if you were writing an evaluative essay about this particular music video, what argument would you make about it? Is this a successful video of this genre? Why or why not? And the why or why not is really the important part, because this is the basis of the assessment that they're doing. So I give them a few minutes to work together and do that. Then I will put 3 of their thesis statements up on the board. And the first question I ask is, what are each of these thesis statements doing? And that's really a generative discussion, I find, because there are certain key things that students are likely to do in their evaluative thesis statements that they may not sort of consciously be thinking of why these things are important. So, for instance, each of the thesis statements generally will point to specific criteria, specific things that are effective. And each of them will give the assessment itself. They will say, this is good, this is bad, this is effective, this is ineffective, this is a representative of this genre, or whatever it is. And so those are really the two components of a thesis statement that I want to emphasize for my students with this lesson. Because these are the things that they need to be consciously thinking about, not just unconsciously doing, when they write their thesis statements for their evaluative papers. And then we sort of open the discussion up a little bit more, because one of the things I often find is that, so we'll open the discussion up, and this goes in a couple of different ways. One is I'll ask them to sort of expand on the things that they thought were working in the video, and then I'll ask them about things that weren't working in the video, because one of the things I often find with evaluative essays, including rhetorical evaluation, which is what I have my students write, is that they will frequently come down just on this is good or this is bad, this is effective or this is ineffective. And we lose a lot of that nuance. Now, I typically get this in the thesis statements that they write in class, evaluating these music videos, is it tends to be, this is a good music video, or sometimes this is a bad music video. We often don't get thesis statements that have that complexity of, this is generally a successful music video, but it's X component of it doesn't work. And I want that sophistication when I'm getting rhetorical evaluation or any sort of evaluative essay. I don't just want it to be, this is good or this is bad. I want it to be, here are the ways in which it's good and here are the ways in which it's bad, because that's the way that real evaluation tends to work. And I tell my students this very explicitly. In life, we almost never have something that's either entirely good or entirely bad. Most things are in the middle. Most things are a mix. And so a sophisticated, nuanced evaluation will acknowledge that. Whether or not that is that sort of acknowledgement of complexity is significant enough to make it into the thesis really depends. But that's something that I do try and push my students toward. And so we'll talk about, because generally the music videos that I pick are pretty decent representations of their genres. So we'll talk about what doesn't work about them. Again, to build that sort of nuance and to provide a more complicated reading of these videos.